What's up, guys? Welcome back to today's episode of The Sports Sermon. We are brought to you by Scooch, the most functional phone case on the market. Check out ScoochCase.com to get yours today and use the code SPORTS18, sports with a Z, of course, to get a 10% discount on your order. Stay tuned till the end for a special Scooch giveaway as well. But now, today's episode.
And welcome inside the Sports Sermon. I am Dylan Staggy, here today with Jason Godney and Dan Majors, and we are back for another NFL team preview. Today's is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. A season ago, they finished at 5-11, a disappointing year in which they hoped to make a big jump. And in this offseason, Jameis was suspended for the first 3 games. So let's go ahead and talk about Jameis. Last year, he was 3-10 as a starter, and like I said, this year he is suspended for the first 3 games. When he comes back, what do you guys expect of him? And if he struggles, should the Bucs move on?
So, I want to see him look comfortable. He never truly has looked comfortable, and it's really head-scratching as to why he hasn't put it all together. I look at last year, and that shoulder injury was a bigger deal than I think he let on. He tried to play through it, he couldn't do it, then he sat out 3 games. This whole roster is on the hot seat. The coach, the GM, the quarterback, everyone not named Mike Evans. When Jameis comes back from suspension, I want to see a smarter Jameis. I want to see a better football IQ. He has all the gifts physically and is extremely talented. No one can deny that. If he can show a better football IQ, he can still prove he is the QB of the future. I do not think the reason he has struggled is because of Jameis Winston. I think it's on Coach Dirk Cutter, but I'll get into that later.
Yeah, so in 2017, he set career highs in completion, yards per attempt, and passer rating, and ranked 11th in total value among all quarterbacks. So there's no reason to expect anything less. If anything, you could expect more with a chip on his shoulder with everyone talking about how he'll have it down here.
Yeah.
So I like Jameis Winston this year.
Join the club. You haven't liked him in the past, Dan.
That's facts.
Join the club. If you check out last year's podcast, I said that they were going to be really freaking good. So I want them to be good. Even though I can't do it this year, I want the Bucs to be good. So I always have a soft spot for my boy Jameis.
I don't know if Jameis has it anymore. I mean, he certainly is not set up for success with Dirk Cutter as his coach, and a pretty awful run game last year. We'll have to see if Ronald Jones can improve that. And a bad defense, too.
They completely redid the defense.
Yeah. Also, I think Jameis is he's shown off-the-field issues, and last year when he poked fights and everything, he doesn't seem to be a great leader. I expect him to struggle again this year when he comes back.
You just don't think he has it. That's a bold comment, I feel like, for a 3-year guy. That's crazy that you're already giving up on him.
I don't know. It's not. Maybe it's not even Jameis. It's just how bad the team is around him.
I don't think they're that bad.
Their
defense was the problem last year, and they changed it. The front 7 was their issue, and now
their offense was not bad last year.
Yeah. Mike Evans,
the run
Ronald
game,
Jones.
though?
Yeah, that's where they got rid of it.
Ronald Jones.
Ronald Jones is going to be a stud. He already scored in the preseason. He's going to be so freaking
very underrated.
Rojo is so good.
Yeah, he's going to be a stud.
All right, we will have to see it from Jameis. But let's talk about that defense now. How much do you guys think the D-line is going to improve after this offseason's overhaul?
So it definitely improved. This might have been one of the worst D-lines in all of football last year, and now they look entirely different. Jason Pierre-Paul comes over, Noah Spence returns from injury, they drafted Vita Vea, who I don't like, but it's fine, and they signed Vinny Curry. They just have to hope that JPP can find the fountain of youth and Vita Vea can learn from Gerald McCoy. They need anything because that line was horrendous last year.
Yeah, so a season ago, the Bucs ranked dead last in sacks, which resulted in the league's 31st ranked pass defense and the 19th rated run defense, so it was a great idea to put an emphasis on it this year, or this offseason. They got Vinny Curry, Jason Pierre-Paul, and Bo Allen, along with a very underrated pick in Vita Vea, who will eventually be a star in this league.
I think the defensive line should be very solid this year. I really do like the moves that they made. I think the secondary is a bigger problem with this defense, though. It should definitely not do them any favors. Last in pass defense a year ago, and I don't think M.J. Stewart or Carlton Davis will be able to contribute right away to help that out. But let's move on. We talked about Dirk Cutter a little bit. Do you guys think that he should be fired if the Bucs have another disappointing season?
So, yeah, I think it's his offense. His offense is not working with Jameis. It requires way too much downfield passing, which puts Jameis in too many tough situations. If it doesn't click this year, he has to be the first one to go. You'd be stupid to give up on Jameis. I'm not very sold on Dirk Cutter. Don't be stupid and do not get rid of Jameis before you get rid of Dirk Cutter. I thought Lovie Smith should have got the job over Dirk Cutter when he had his rookie year. Lovie Smith got him to like 7-9, I think, and Jameis looked really good. And then they fired him and hired Dirk Cutter because him and Jameis had a good relationship. But I was so mad as soon as that happened. I was like, no, Lovie, you've got to keep him. Dirk Cutter is not a good head coach. I do not like him. I think he's got to go.
Yeah, I agree. He has an improved defense, which was the main reason for the 11 losses. He should get to at least 6 or 7 this year. I feel like they're ready for a better season than last year.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, if Jameis can't have a better season, Dirk Cutter definitely deserves to be fired. He was hired, like Jason said, to help Jameis come along and continue to develop him. But if he cannot do that, he should definitely not be deserving of the Bucs head coach spot anymore. But let's talk about their record, division place, and playoffs. I want to hear from you guys. What do you guys think?
Yeah, so I really don't hate this team. I just look at like the guys they've got. I don't think it's a bad team. The problem is it's hard to recover when you start out of the gate bad. And they have a brutal opening schedule with New Orleans, Philly, and Pittsburgh. And Jameis won't be there. It's a really tough start for a team that needs a good start. I really think if they had a good start, maybe they go 2-1, 3-0 against some other teams, then they could get rolling. I could see them as a legitimate playoff threat, but it scares me because I feel like that's a guaranteed 0-3. You still have yet to play Atlanta twice. You've yet to play Carolina twice, and so like the games don't get easier. It's just a matter of scheduling. I do like this Bucs team a lot. I think it's easy to overlook them, like Dylan kind of was in their backfield. They've still got Brent Grimes, Vernon Hargreaves, who are really good players, and then I like Chris Conte still in that safety spot. Like I think it's very easy to overlook them because they're not going to play record-wise. But Kendall Beckwith at linebacker, all those kind of guys, I really like their defense, even though it was really bad last year.
Yeah, so you mentioned those first 3 games.
Yeah.
I feel like they could get one out of those, but
Think so?
maybe.
Which one?
Maybe.
Do you know? Like,
I
Pittsburgh?
would say the Saints, but I don't know.
That's the only one that's away. That's what scares me.
Okay, but
Anyway, yeah.
even if they do go 0-3, I think with Jameis coming back, I think that gives them momentum going into the next games.
I hope so, but look at who they got. They got at Chicago and at Atlanta. That's not easy wins.
Yeah, but
And then you
I
get
like
Cleveland and Cincy. They should win.
Yeah.
At Carolina, Washington, at New York, San Fran. It's just a brutal schedule.
Right.
Yeah.
But I believe in the Bucs this year. I have them at 9-7, second in the division.
Solid.
They make the playoffs. So
That'd be crazy.
yeah, they have an improved running game to go along with Deshaun Jackson, Mike Evans, Adam Humphries, Cameron Brate, and a breakout player in O.J. Howard. Winston will be fine and ball out with them. Out of their 11 losses last year, 7 were within 6 points or less. You guys know how big I am on net close losses. If the offense can do about the same as last year and the defense can take a solid step forward, then the playoffs are not unrealistic.
The offense will be better than last year, though. That's the thing Rojo is such an underrated draft pick. That guy is going to absolutely ball.
Yep.
I feel like this team should improve in so many ways, but I just don't know how I can put them there after Dirk Cutter and Jameis Winston's mess of last season. Their defense, besides the defensive line, they didn't make many improvements, and I don't think that they improve a lot. In paper they should be good, but last season they should have been good on paper too, and it just didn't happen. So I have them at 5-11, last in the division, and I don't think they can make the playoffs.
Dylan, that's a scary take to stand by. After last year, you got burned on this statement of they look good on paper. I'm not sure they're going to look very good on the field. You got burned on that statement last year. You said the Jaguars just look good on paper. They're not going to look good when it comes on the field. That's a risky statement. I don't know if I'd go back to that. Are you staying by that they just look good on paper?
Yeah, because, we saw it last season.
Yikes. That's scary, Dylan. I don't know.
The Bucs be the
are the
Jaguars.
Bucs the next Jags?
No.
Just because Dylan said they look good on paper.
You probably wouldn't have said that last year about the Jags.
Yeah, last year you argued with me for a half hour the Jags would be bad, and I was like, just wait.
Yeah.
And it was because of a rookie running back. Just saying.
Well, I
have them 5-11, so I don't think they're really good. I'm just saying there's potential that they could be 9-7, 8-8. if they, because like last
I
year I
don't
had him
see
at 10-6. I mean, last year I was really high on him.
All right, we will have to see. This is the last NFL episode that we have, so if you guys want to go back and check out the rest of them, plus our playoffs episode that we have out now, make sure you go and do that. And in the intro, Jason mentioned Scooch, that code SPORTS18 for 10% off. We're going to make that 15% off for you guys. And if you want to be entered into a contest to win a free Scooch Wingman case, make sure you comment on this video and then subscribe on YouTube, iTunes, or Spotify. But that's all we've got for today, and we will see you very soon with some more podcasts.